know that, right?
What's happening, everybody? Obviously, it's Victory Monday. We've got a lot to talk about. But welcome to the Horns Forward podcast, right? I'm normally, the loudmouth of the South, SAJ. Voice a little broken right now because
Left it
BD
all
and I
in
were definitely.
DC.
Oh yeah, we were definitely putting in some work. So was Brahma Babe and Brahma Bro, and we have lots of stories, lots of fun stories to share with
Oh,
you
I
guys
cannot
tonight.
wait.
But do your introductions if you would be so kind, please.
Tell me what to do. 2-0 Bramacita.
What?
It's Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. What's up? I'm BD, and for this Victory Monday, we're gonna crack one. Let's go.
DJ, and I'm cracking one.
Cheers.
Hey, salud.
Cheers.
Salud.
I'm not. I'm drinking water. I'm trying to recover.
I'm drinking sparkling ice, so it's the same.
There you go.
I'm drinking orange.
Hey man, do it to it. Lots of fun stuff to share. I'm not even
You're
really
so
sure.
dead right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a long weekend, a lot going on.
Talk about
it. We probably had about 3 days worth of stuff packed into 2 days. Easily.
Yeah, y'all started off. Y'all might as well just tell us how it was over there.
Okay, what do you want to start off with, the trip or the game?
Probably the trip.
Okay, so let's start off with the trip. And once again, just like I think we talked about it a little last week, I don't know if it was us not paying attention to Southwest or what, but we're over here trying to go to the East Coast of DC, and Southwest is like, you know what? I think a stop in Phoenix would be really good first. So
wow,
that was like the weekend before.
Yeah, week before Vegas to go to Detroit. So it was about a 4.5-hour flight from Phoenix to DC, and my old sprinkler back was not having it. So
yeah, and that's just as good for the return trip. We spent the better part of about 3.5 hours in the Denver airport this morning, waiting to catch our flight from Denver back to San Antonio. Because why not go to Denver? It's on the way to San Antonio from DC, right?
But Denver's better than Phoenix. But what was funny is, as soon as we got off the plane from DC to Denver, I'm walking down the concourse and stuff, just trying to get to our gate and see what was around there. They're closing the door on the gate of a flight going to San Antonio, like 5 minutes.
Right. And we could have been here by like 11, maybe 12.
Yeah.
But instead it was 4. So yeah. But you can see why we're a little bit exhausted. BD and I set up in the Denver airport, and both of us just typing away on our laptops, actually doing work and stuff. We kind of looked at each other and we're like, really? We flew all this way to just do work? I mean, that's crazy. So but yeah, so again, the traveling accommodations were nice. Southwest, great airline. Enjoying maybe not so much the extra miles, but it was fun.
But in all fairness to Southwest, that's what happens when you book your flight based on the price of it and not,
Did you have a singing lady when we went to Michigan? Coming home from Michigan,
there was no singing lady.
Our last flight, the stewardess sang everything.
So I know
I've
been on a flight with that stewardess before.
Yeah. She's really good, very talented.
That was the first time I've ever been serenaded to.
Yeah, it makes the trip worth it. But so we flew from here to Phoenix, and then Phoenix to DC, and we got in about what 3-4 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah,
their time.
How'd y'all end up at the wrong hotel?
We did wind up at the wrong hotel. So I haven't quite figured out exactly where I went wrong, but I'm pretty sure I clicked on the link that you sent for the hotel we were supposed to be at.
I don't know. BD said he confirmed it.
Else.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. I'm like, it was the right one because I got a text message. So I was initially going to go to this game with everyone, and then with everything going on in life, I decided, I'm going to stay home. So everything was already planned out. So nothing should have gone awry because I planned it out. Except for Michigan. That was like a slight, it was still out of my hands, but still.
That's part of the fun. That's part of the joys of us doing our traveling, right?
Exactly. So all I know is I had everything, and I get a text message from Brahma Babe. And she's like, they're 17 minutes away from us. I'm like, what? I specifically picked that hotel because it was close to Audi and it had free breakfast.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. It had free breakfast.
We started about breakfast too.
Oh geez. Yeah, so that was we Uber to the hotel. We get there. We find the address for it, the one that we booked. We get there, we're checking in. We message, Brahma Babe and Brahma Bro, be like, hey, we're here. We're there, make sure our room's together, come meet us at the bar. And so we gotta walk over to the bar, grab a beer, and
everyone's waiting at the wrong bar.
By the way, DC, a beer, just a regular, 12-ounce beer was $10. So what the crap? Yeah, it wasn't even like that one, but it wasn't even
$10 for something not even this fancy.
Yeah, it wasn't even a good beer. But that's
and DC has made it a point, rather than relying on patrons taking care of like wait staff through tips and things like that, they've decided to add on gratuities so that they can increase their wait staff's wages to like $17 an hour. So you can tip on top of that if you'd like to, but there's basically a 20% addition to your bill. So mine and BD's $20 beer bill was $25.
Yeah.
Well, like 25 and change with the
for
tax.
Them just handing you a beer.
Just hand beer.
So them handing us a beer.
But yeah, so we're sitting at the bar. We kind of the lobby. They come up and tell us, okay, your room's ready. We're going and checking in, getting our keys. We get a message from Brahma Bro. Hey, where's the bar? Where are y'all? I look over.
Yeah.
Hey, which hotel are you at? Because I don't see you. I don't think we're in the right place here.
Right. There was one part where we were like, they said, hey, come up to room such and such. I think they're on the 6th floor, just like us. And we're like, okay, well, they're on the same floor. And we're like, we're just going to hang out here at the bar. Meet us down here. And they're like, we're at the bar. Where are you guys at? And we're like, you're not here? How are you guys at? And then that's when we figured it out. So we Ubered over to their hotel / block party / swingers club, whatever. They had the craziest like rooftop bar happy hour thing going
at
on.
That hotel?
Like you could you could hear it a block and a half before we even got there.
DJ, that
like,
works.
Where's this music coming from? And yeah, it was their party. And yeah, it was crazy. So
but you know what, it was really cool us Ubering where over. This was my first time in DC. Obviously I wasn't going to the steps that y'all went to last year, and because I ain't about to do all that walking, but being where we were at,
loser quitter,
we got to Uber around and kind of get a little sightseeing, especially us going to the wrong Walters. So
this is what happens when I am not there, when I am not doing everything.
So we have adventures either way. They're just different kinds of adventures, right? For example, when we met up with Brahma Bro and Brahma Babe, we decided to go down to where Walters is because it's not that far from their hotel.
Yeah.
Right. And we started walking around, and we come around the corner for the street that Walter Sports Bar is on, and like not even a block later, we see a group of people across the street from Walters, and it was like that Spider-Man meme where the 5 different Spider-Mans are all pointing at each other, and it was Coach Party and all the coaches.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. There's some of the coaches that I don't remember their names, but I recognize them. But every one of them was like, holy crap, right? And so we were running over, and Coach Party, like they saw us same time we saw them, big old grins on their face, just happy as could be seeing, Brahma fans there supporting the team.
Yeah, like
and
the smile on their face was just as big as the smile on our face when we saw each other.
yeah.
I can see. I probably all look creepy. Like, yeah. I can
But
see it already.
What's
That's
crazy
where-
is the fact that they didn't like, brush their shoulders off to y'all and just not, But it's cool that they actually stopped and talked to y'all and stuff.
Yeah, no,
That was
absolutely.
dope.
And, that's kind of that's what we've been saying forever. Like, just the coaches are so accessible, and the players and just they're just real down to earth and just fantastic people. So, I would expect them to just blow us off and like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going, guys? We got somewhere to go. So,
But no, I mean,
That's cool.
they took the time to, we walked up to them because obviously we were heading in that direction, but they took the time to stop and talk to us, tell us how grateful they were for our support, us being there. And this is probably a little bit, more for the Bulls on Tour crew, but just kind of the recognition that, hey, you guys are going to all the different away games, and just the love and support that they're feeling from us, how much they appreciate that, and how much of a difference it actually makes for them, right? So we did get a chance to grab a picture of them. I'm not sure if Jackie, if you're able to pull that up, uno momento. But there was kind of a reason why I did it the way that I did, but I wanted to make sure that everybody else was in the picture and not me. That's why you only see, just this top part of my head, because I really didn't care. I mean, I wanted to be in the picture, but it's hard to take a good picture, right? So I wanted to make sure everybody was in frame, so I just focused on catching everybody else, and I'll just Photoshop myself in somewhere. But as you can tell, there's the whole entire coaching staff that we ran into. And those smiles are genuine. They were that happy to see us, and we were really that happy to see them. Like, again, that level of access that you don't normally get we're actually talking about it on the plane, I think. But just this level of access that you don't get with any other professional sport, the coaches recognize us. Maybe they don't know us by our first names or, our real names, because, obviously SAJ and, BD and Tutem Brahmasita, all that, right? But they recognize us. And just the fact that, they're taking the time to tell us how much they appreciate us just as much as we're telling them how much we appreciate them. That's awesome, man. That you can't find that kind of connection with a professional athlete really in any other sport. So we're absolutely loving it. So anyways,
I was having the worst FOMO when I saw the picture.
yeah.
Hey, I got a question though, right? So am I tripping, or because I'm looking at Milton's comment and I noticed, is that a Fox thing, or is it like, does ESPN show y'all too, or Fox just decides not to show away fans? Like,
it's probably a twofold thing, but I think more so it's a technological issue, right? So Chapman, our favorite, supporting staff, if you will. Chapman is the company that makes the wheeled cameras that they use for the elevated views of the field and everything. The problem is they're on the away side, and I'm sure they could probably spin the camera around, but then, like, this is probably what you'd see from the camera view because of the angle of it, because they can't really lower it, right? So they weren't really going to show it.
There's the Chapman path, and so you're not gonna. I don't think the handheld cameras, the people, they're not. It's a logistics more.
Yeah,
we have to come over where we were at to film us, or whatever. So,
I don't even know if they showed us last year when we were there.
They did it.
It was probably like, yeah, you could probably just see little flybys.
It was like
I saw you guys in the background for one shot, but that was
background,
it.
When they had
the
camera on
wing
wing
to you or whatever. But.
Yeah.
Now, we did have 2 different excursions before the game started, where we went to go get something to drink or go hit the restroom or whatever, and ran into I guess their local broadcast folks, interviewing fans and whatever. And so we walked up, me and Brahma Bro walked up on this group of folks that was talking about how they were going to beat San Antonio and everything. We just kind of walked up behind them and we're like, okay, right, and then we stole the show from them. And then I know Renee and BD at some point were out running around, and I think they got stopped and talked to.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of UFL pictures, like taking pictures and some video and stuff just from some of the media and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't anything on the national broadcast, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
Again, it's fine.
I mean, y'all made a feature again on Defender's video, which is funny.
And we finished that video up that night. He actually took a bunch of different. I guess they had like a pregame party, kind of a meet and greet kind of thing. But so we finished it up across the street from this place that we went to. It's called 99 Taps, right? Shameless plug. It's okay.
It's okay.
They're not paying me.
Great place.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not paying me.
The plug is okay. The place is great. It's one of those pour your own beer kind of places. So right at my
Did you tip yourself at least?
No, I would not have tipped myself. I gave myself very bad service that night. But
I made sure my cup was always full that night.
Mine wasn't. I had to get up several times because my waiter wouldn't come around. I mean, it was bad service. It was horrible. But so we filmed the rest of it, across the street real quick with the Defender, and then he actually changed into normal clothes and hung out with us for a little bit. And it was just it was a great atmosphere. That's when we found out about the 20% tip being already included. Don't acknowledge John.
We'll get into those later.
We always got a hater. Always got a hater. Somebody's getting their little.
He's feeling a little saucy.
Their little feathers ruffle up.
Yeah, but so we hung out there for a little bit, called it a night, went back to our hotel, crashed out.
Uber ride back to the hotel.
Yeah, 20-minute ride back to the hotel.
Like I said though, but it was actually really cool. I really. It would have been fun to be in the same hotel with everybody and like walk over to Audi Field, but just the Uber rides across the city. We got to talk to our Uber drivers. We got to see the Capitol building, all kinds of awesome stuff, sightseeing stuff. It was just really cool. I know it would have been really great to stay at the same hotel. I'm glad we stayed where we did. So
our hotel was really nice. It was it was still on the main drag, but kind of off the beaten path. So it was nice and quiet. And just, what we were looking for, right? A lot less excitement. It definitely wasn't like the St. Louis Airbnb. Just whereas the hotel that Brahma Babe and Brahma Bro stayed at was much more St. Louis feel, right? There was just always stuff going on. Although there was a lot of team family members staying at that hotel. Yeah. So we did miss out. Well, we didn't really miss out on it because we wound up hanging out in the lobby and running into a lot of them. But again, first night, the jet lag, all that good stuff. We wound up going back to the hotel, crashing out. I was up at probably like 8 o'clock their time, chomping at the bit, waiting for people to get ready so we could go to Walter's.
FOMO was just kicking in hardcore.
I already.
There's a little FOMO. I was twitching. Like, when are we gonna go? When are we gonna go?
You've never seen this before, DJ. It gets crazy. Like when we say like he's itching, like he's like pacing around and jumping.
Yeah,
like, he's ready to go.
Yeah,
and I have to like not pay attention to him because if not, it makes me my anxiety starts to rise. I'm like, no, I need to go over here because he's gonna make me get ready faster, and I'm not about that.
I hate waiting, so I want to go now.
Thank you. Right here.
Hey, you could have if you wanted
You're gonna leave me hanging.
Look, I had us close enough to where you could walk a mile if you wanted to be gone that bad.
Yeah, I hate waiting, and I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I don't know. So.
You're not gonna miss anything at tailgate. Maybe a little bit of an extra shot of chocolate cake, but that's about it.
It's in my world, when it's time to go, it's time to go, right? And 12 o'clock, it's time to go. You've already burnt enough daylight. It's time to go.
Oh yeah, I was seeing the messages like, you better be getting ready, Brahma babe.
So the only outside of our Uber sightseeing, my watch charger broke, so I had to go find a new one. I had to go get a new one. So I kind of just Googled where the closest CVS to where we were staying was. It was like a 10-minute walk. So me and Jay, we start walking down the street. We go hit a gas station, convenience store, see if they have one. Nothing there. We're walking down, just kind of enjoying the sights around us. It's a pretty cool city. I love it. And then we walked to the Carnegie Library, right? Is that what it was?
It was Carnegie Library.
So we're walking to the Carnegie Library, and there's an Apple logo on it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. Jason's like, oh yeah, look, it's the Carnegie Apple Store. I was like, oh, that's crazy. It's probably just the library brought to you by Apple or something crazy like that. They're sponsoring it. And we're walking, and we see some steps going up into a little storefront, and the big old Apple logo on the windows. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, I'll be damned. That's an actual Apple store. Like they built out a part of the library and put an Apple store in there. So I was like, all right, well, we'll walk up there and go grab a charger. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So to continue that crazy story, we start heading back, and we're going down the opposite block that we walked down to get to the Apple Store library. And I'm like, what was the Starbucks
Apple Store library?
Yeah. We'll go grab some coffee and breakfast sandwich, and we'll be fine, right? No big deal. We go by.
Was it a Starbucks and a bagel store together now?
Well, no. So it was a Starbucks like inside of like a residential type building where you go into the entrance and you have to take a hard left to go into the entrance where the Starbucks is, or you go straight and then you go into where all the residents live. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. It's like you have one like built into like a hotel or something, but it was an actual built Starbucks, but it was just built into
when there was there was a set of stairs that went down into the basement too. We didn't go there. We figured DJ already had the basement part covered, so we didn't need to go down there.
I heard that coming.
Well, I wanted to beat everybody else to it because Rankin is just waiting in the shadows, waiting to make that joke. Anyways, so yeah, we go in and we're like
in the basement.
I guess it's a Starbucks, right? And so we order our Starbucks and we walk on back. Not that we're bougie; it's just I knew that they'd had breakfast, right? So then we grab, we get back. I'm texting everybody. I'm like, I'm dying here. We got to go. Like, come on. And then
let's go.
Finally, they give us the green light to come over. So we grab an Uber, tell them, hey, man, take us to Walters. We're going to meet everybody there. Okay, cool. No problem.
So let's say how this actually went. Because I got the Uber for this one. So I'm searching for it. I'm saying, hey, we're going to Walters Sports Bar, right? Yeah. Jay said, yeah. So I type in Walters Sports Bar.
No bucket.
It pops up the address. I was like, it's on Washington Street or whatever. It said, yeah, that's it. I'm like, all right, cool, go. As we jump in the Uber, start going, and I'm looking at it. We're getting closer to closer. I'm like, this doesn't look like any place we were near last night. And we pulls up to the curb, and we look over, and there's like an abandoned building, and like. Nope, this isn't the same Walters. So we find the right one, and it was like 20 minutes away from us. So we went on a nice little sightseeing Uber tour past Howard University and all kinds of cool stuff.
It was amazing. Like we were driving through, and I just happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye. There was a building. It said like Howard University something building or whatever, and I was like, "Holy crap! Is this Howard University?" And the guy was like. Yeah.
After we had been driving by it for half a mile, by the way. So.
That's not even true.
Y'all was on Georgia Avenue.
Yeah. So I was like, holy, like this is history. And so like our Uber driver basically gave us a real quick sightseeing tour along the way that we went. It was just absolutely entertaining. So yeah, we get to Walters. We finally get to the right Walters. Get set up. We're hanging out with everybody, all the fans and everything, taking pictures. We did the live shots and stuff from the Walters bar. And a couple hours there, and we decide to start moving the party over to Audi Field, right? So BD, shut up, BD. Private chat stuff. BD and I have our tradition where we have our walking around beers, and we basically had to kind of bribe our waitress not to open our beers when she brought them to us, so we could sneak them out and have our tradition. And the whole time we're like, right, because we didn't want to get in any trouble with DC police. But we did our thing. We got checked in. Typical DC fashion. And I don't remember this happening last year, but I got harassed about the flag. Apparently, I got harassed about it last year too. They didn't.
No, you got harassed because you were wearing it like a cape.
Well, yeah, this time I didn't have it as a cape. They said,
yeah, that's the only reason why. But that's weird because some of their defenders wear capes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I didn't wear it as a cape this time. They were just saying, we think your flags are going to be too big to come in. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I had it here last year. But so I was nice. I didn't get all feisty until a little bit later. And we'll talk about that too. But they eventually were like, okay, fine. The flags are fine. Bring them in. And, they went through Brahma Babe's stuff like ridiculously. And it's like, guys, come on. Like, I get it. We're fans of the opposing team, but we're not like crazy. I mean, relax. But anyways, we get in, do our typical stuff. BD and I do our here we go Brahmas chant. And
which I was a little disappointed at how short of a walk we had from where we had. We probably should have gone down the concourse.
It was his first time, that's why.
Yeah.
It's a very short walk.
It is. It was like, here we go, Brahmas. Here we go. Oh, here we are, Brahmas.
Here we are.
We did because the walkway is a little bit narrow where those seats are to get to them. So BD and I kind of like that with the flag facing the team, and then we did it all the way to our seats.
Yeah.
And so they heard them. They were super happy.
One verse again.
It was like two. But it was still in the seats, incredible. Shout out to James Carr. Always does a great job, especially if you guys are going to go to the away games. Make sure you hit him up. Ask him to help you out with tickets. He always does a great job finding the best seats at the best prices. But so, we get there, we're sitting down, game starts, right? We've got our drinks and we've got our station, and we took over the front row like we normally do. And the game starts in probably BD, maybe 2 possessions. And security comes and asks us to sit down because there's fans behind us that are
just
complaining.
Like last week at Memphis, people behind us or around us were complaining that we were standing up and being loud.
That is wild. I've never heard of that at a football game.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we watching tennis? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused.
I guess we got a golf clap for our team from now on.
Yeah.
Snaps.
So
Snaps
we're doing our thing. BD looks over at the rest of us and he's like, you know what? I'll agree to sitting down on offense, but they can kiss my rump on defense. I'm getting up. And I'm like, well, all right, here we go. I'm ready for some cuffs. Let's go.
I don't sit down on defense. So
yeah. And obviously you can hear it on the national broadcast. We got crazy. You can hear our fake cadences and stuff. I love the fact that, again, just like in Michigan, right? We started something and people started imitating us, right? So you've had a bunch of false cadence. Well, some false cadences. But I do got to say, DC, I don't know what's going on with you guys. You used to be a powerhouse when it came to a fan base. And maybe it was because it was Easter Sunday. Maybe it's just because it was a Sunday in general. I don't know, man. But your beer steak was more like a beer earthworm. and your fans didn't show up. So, like,
I mean,
I
they
love the
kept saying
DC fan base.
all game, feed that snake, and that snake was really hungry at the end of
Yeah.
the game.
It was very anorexic.
He was a sad snake.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's like their big thing. Like everybody is supposed to be drawn to that and getting involved because of that. And the numbers are dwindling. So I'm not sure what's going on. But again,
well,
that's
I don't cut you off, but that's like 30 minutes on the trip. Let's get to actually talk about the actual game.
I know, dang. I get it. You had fun on your trip.
We had fun. But let's talk about the actual game now.
Let's talk about the game.
Woo.
Well, DJ,
let's talk about the game.
Yeah, DJ, Jackie, y'all watched it.
Oh Lord, I watched it at the ranch on an iPad.
I watched it at home, but my father-in-law was in town, of course. So he's DC. He was all talking junk, like y'all 0-3. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay. And mind you, he's not really following UFL like that. He just knows that, So one thing about the people from
who invited this guy?
This guy, man.
Always coming here talking smack.
One thing about the people from our area is they will pull for home teams regardless if they watch or not. Like they won't probably watch a lick of WNBA, but they will definitely pull for the Mystics if they doing good. They, you know what I'm saying? So if they go see them in person somewhere, they'll pull for them. That's just what it is. But he was talking junk in my ear the whole game, and then we was up 12-0, and he was still talking junk, and I'm like, can you see the score right now? And then that's when DC has scored, and I was like, bro, you haven't been watching the game. The flow of the game is crazy right now, so just relax, just continue to watch the game. But but it was the first drive was good. Like our first drive was really good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I think I said this while in the game. That was our first drive touchdown of the season.
Yeah.
First in the first quarter period.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the way they came out, I was like, okay, 2024 Brahmas, where have you been?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Tim,
And then
first place and keep it warm because we're coming back for
Matthew Sexton.
Oh man.
Oh yes.
And you
Sexton
just did our know your Brahmas on him last week, right?
Yes.
Wasn't he the? Wasn't he your subject?
You've been picking people that end up doing something.
So no pressure.
Well,
no pressure for this week's, man. Come on now, no pressure at all.
I'm ready to see who you're gonna pick. Yeah. Who you gonna sprinkle with that dust on? Who's gonna make a big play this week?
Well, I've been rotating, so I do offense and defense. So this week will be defense. So we'll see.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both sides of the ball, they were just some of the opportunities, like some of the missed opportunities.
Big ups to the D line for sure. D line played their play their ass off.
I mean, they only had one official sack, I guess, but I mean, they were on Ta'amu all game long. He was constantly having to run out of the pocket. I mean, credit to him, he made a ton of plays, but he was getting rushed a lot.
Well, I mean, you look at the stats of the game, right? Ta'amu put up the most rushing yardage. Abram Smith was pretty much contained most of the game. 13 rushes for only 40 yards total, which is still, I mean, it's a decent amount.
And he had like 9 yards at halftime or something like that. Like the first half, we held him down. And he broke.
It was ridiculous
in the second half, but
that speaks to what we were talking about, right? New coach, new vibe. We saw it in Michigan last week, right? New energy. These guys are fired up. It might be a little too early to jump on the bandwagon, but I'll make sure that I'm jumping on because there's just something different
I ain't
about
jumped off
the
bandwagon
team.
yet.
Yeah, I ain't been off of it.
Let me tell you what it is.
You know
what
I mean?
And let me tell you what it is because, and I noticed this with like a lot of sports with coaches that young, they can relate to the players.
Yeah.
And they bring a different type of energy to the players than an older coach. No disrespect to the older coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Good, but the way the times is now is different.
Wade. I mean, like I said, Wade's been in coaching longer than all of us have been alive combined. But there's just that you watch Party on the sidelines in his interviews talking to the players, and it's just it's something different, and it's great to see.
I feel like we'll eventually start seeing more younger coaches. I feel like that's going to start happening.
For sure. And you got guys like Bill Belichick. You got guys like Nick Saban that they can't really adapt to. Yeah, I'm curious to see how he look in North Carolina, but just in general, like that youth is you got to be able to stick with the times, and a lot of coaches can't do that. They just real old school, and you can't really coach like that now. I mean, that style is going away.
Yeah, that's becoming the trend in NFL even, right? Matt LaFleur is one of the youngest coaches in the NFL. I know there's a couple other ones I can't remember. But yeah, Party brings a different energy to the team. A lot of familiarity with some of the play calls and the designs and stuff under Wade's offense, but a different look and a different energy. So you can tell like defense was fired up when they came out of the players tunnel, and we were getting loud and crazy, and it was only like 4 of us and then the families that I guess heard us and started making some noise also, and everybody was trying to boo them, and they're just like, oh, let's go. Like that was just fuel on the fire. And then it shows, right? And I really think we've had that defensive element there from the very beginning. We just needed the support from the offense, right? Keep the defense off the field as much as you can so they get a chance to rest and really make those big plays. Now, we didn't get any picks that I'm aware of.
Almost.
There were a couple of close attempts.
Williams, Jay almost got one.
Yeah. He was so close. It's crazy. I called that because I saw the play, and I saw the DC wide receiver coming across. I said, Jay Will is sitting right there. And as soon as the ball came out of his hands, it went right to Jay Will's hands, and he dropped that. I was like, oh my! Yeah. Like, that was a pick, dude. But I think DC. I mean, I think the Brahmas really had it from the opening drive. Like I think they was like, okay, we can win this game.
Yeah,
their confidence has changed.
That set the tone. Now, they got a lot more conservative in the second half.
They did,
which it kind of allowed DC to get back in the game a little bit, but even still, I mean, like I said, they had 1 sack, but they had 9 tackles for losses. They were freaking defense was in the backfield.
They were stopping them.
They set the tone all game.
Yep. McFarland did really good. I'm still a little concerned about calling the same run plays all the time and just switching the back
left and right.
Yeah.
You said switching the back. Oh well, did you notice they had Aiden Robbins like goal line back?
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah,
man, he was good. He was good in there. I know Corbett had a nice run too. That it was an inside run, but he kind of just decided to break it out.
They've been featuring him a lot too.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the kicker?
The new kicker? Yeah.
He was booing. He was booting that shit, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the kickoff.
He was okay. We were yelling at his number and everything like that, and he kind of looked over kind of sheepishly because I don't know if he knew that he was gonna, like, if it was us or if he was gonna get roasted or what. So he kind of peeks over his shoulder a little bit. We're like, let's do the squad 1-3, let's go, baby, let's go. And he was like, okay, yeah, let's go.
I know we kind of talked about it when we were going, talking about destroying's over under for the year, 10 field goals. When we finally got what we talked about, well, I hope he hits the under because we're scoring touchdowns all game and not field goals. That's what we had. We had touchdowns all game. We didn't, didn't kick 1 field goal. So happy 14s on the team. Really happy we didn't need to use them all because we were scoring touchdowns.
I will say I was upset though that we didn't make any of the extra points.
Yeah.
Like at all, like it always just put us right there. Like in like to where we were tying it. Like, oh, good lord! Like, why can't we get any of these just extra points? What the heck?
I think it's just the execution and the design of the play, right? Trying to figure out what's going to work best against the opponents that we're
It just
playing.
makes me mad when I see other teams. It just looks so easy for them. I'm like, what is wrong with us? Why can't it be that easy? I'm not understanding. Why can't we just copy what they're doing? It's working.
Yeah, because it's just not
Why
that
can't
easy.
we do the fake play 3 times in a row like Memphis did to us? Like, that was such a good play. It faked me out the first time. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're talking about the option that Michigan was running last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it looked like he passed it off and then he just walks in all like whatever, guy. Let me faking us like that over and over again. Who are you?
I'll take those touchdowns that lead up to that play that doesn't work all day long, because that's the part that we've been missing, right? Is getting those touchdowns and some offensive, drives here. I find it amazing that, doing a side-by-side comparison, if you will, DC killed us on, offensive yards. They had more time of possession, everything, but right, a lot of penalties against them. And just a lot of things that they drive it down the field and then get it pulled back, then have to wind up punting it away, right?
And I've seen a lot of DC fans just crying about penalties and it was the refs were against us. Man, every one of those penalties was legit. There was the one, I think it was one roughing the passer that was called on DC against Mon. Watching it live, I didn't see it. I was talking to kind of the fans behind us and stuff. And I was back, I'm like, I didn't see it, but I'll take it. And then they showed a replay, and they're looking at it, they're like, oh, yeah, that was roughing the passer. Yeah, that was right. So, I mean, there wasn't a call that they made that I thought was wrong. Even, watching on the replay and stuff.
So, overall, it was a great game. It was awesome to be there. And, to visit with the team afterwards and just see the smiles and just see how excited everybody was. And even Coach Party came out and talked to us. We did get to meet a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of new family members. We got to meet some new families and stuff. And, other families, obviously, that recognized us. So it was just nice. It was like, hanging out with family, So it was a lot of fun. But overall, one hell of a game and a great way to make a point that, hey, we're back, right? Like, keep an eye on us, right? You guys counted us down. You counted us out last year. Count us out again this year and see what happens.
Speaking of, we were down, but not. Let's get into our power rankings after.
Don't tell us what to do.
Don't tell us how to live our lives.
Oh, dang. I've been trying to tell that for a while now.
Okay.
I'm going to leave the AFN right on your face now.
Again, for the 100th time, power rankings and standings are two different things, guys.
Two different things.
My God, we got to say this every week.
But I like it. I like when they get all worked up.
Once again, we had some disagreements with the top of the power rankings. I think Birmingham should be number 1 because they beat Arlington last week. But I was outvoted, so whatever. But I think a lot of people were looking at our St. Louis at number 6. I mean,
they lost sloppy.
You lost Hank for the season, and Max did not look good. So
you gone for the season?
He's done, dude. He tore his Achilles or did something.
It's confirmed. Manny tore his Achilles. He's out for the rest of the season. So, depending on how he bounces back from this, he may or may not come back next year. Right? He may be like, this may be his swan song, and I feel really bad for him. But we'll know more later on.
I had Arlington over. I had Arlington number 1 because they beat the Battlehawks, of course. But Stallions only because they beat the Roughnecks. But I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, with the Roughnecks too. Well, let's be fair.
Yeah,
they were struggling with the Roughnecks also.
They were. They were.
No,
I
I'll
had
tell you-
high
I'll tell
hopes
you-
for the Roughnecks.
That the Houston's quarterback that they put in there, man, he played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Jalen McClendon. Yeah,
McClendon, yeah.
we seen him last year. He played for the Vipers.
Mhm.
Yeah, we seen him last year. They beat us in Vegas. I remember him. Not last year. I'm sorry. When we played, when the
Yeah.
Vipers was here, whatever year that was, 2 years ago, whatever, 3 years ago, whatever. But,
Yeah.
It ain't been that long.
the Vegas little
But yeah,
snake.
like I said, I mean, I know
A
John
little
and
snake.
the little Battle Chicken fans are all in their feelings because we put them 6. But I mean, y'all did not look good.
up.
Y'all did not look good with Max, and you're going to be riding with him for the rest of the season unless you go apologize to McCarron. And
Not gonna happen.
Hello.
it's not going to happen. So
I don't
enjoy that whatever the 2 games that y'all won before, because you probably aren't going to get too many more of those.
Look, I don't even care. It makes my heart happy.
Brent-
It makes my heart happy if the Battlehawks don't make it again to a champion in their own dome, just so we can show how poor fan base and hosts that they really are. They can't even take a power ranking, a weekly power ranking. So
now, granted, McClendon didn't start, so he was a backup, and he came in the game.
Henderson
You don't have no tape on him. You don't have no tape on him, so let's keep that in mind. He might look good when he took over the offense when he came in, but next week if he's starting, it's not going to look the same. Trust me.
Right. I mean, things are going to have to be adjusted, right? Because he's a different quarterback and everything. So we'll see what happens next week. But again, the power rankings are based on the opponent that you're playing and the outcome of the game. So we can all agree to disagree. Because I would put Stallions second to last, Battlehawks last, plain and simple. But that's just because I don't really like them. But we all know about that. But anyways, again, that's our power rankings for this week. We probably should maybe make the transition into not BD being front and center.
Yeah,
but,
nobody wants that. All right.
Yes.
Nobody wants
probably
that.
have a transition into our weekly picks this week. Do you think that would be acceptable, Miss Jackie?
Or do we want to bring our guests on?
No, we're gonna bring our guests out first because I did give them a time.
Okay.
So
we're already 5 minutes late.
Match. Yeah, sorry, friend.
We couldn't get you to stop talking. So
This guy real quick, and give a shout out to Juan Carlos, man. All the DC fans, especially the ones that were at Walters, I gotta say, you guys treated us with kindness and respect. Absolutely love you guys. Appreciate you opening your arms and taking us in like that. It was awesome. So,
again, we're making our friend hold more.
Yes.
We're battling Houston this coming weekend.
Right.
We are.
At the Dome. And
but who's going to be there? That guy's going to be there.
What's up, yo?
Hey.
That was a smooth transition. Thank you, 210.
That was good.
So, what is up, my man?
How are y'all? Thank y'all for having me.
Good.
We're happy because we won. It's Victory Monday.
I can't be unhappy when you get a dub, man. That's the ultimate emotion booster right there.
Oh, especially with the way the season started out and everything, and then
I got a question,
the
man.
problems.
Why you had Memphis number 1?
What?
Who had him? He
Yeah,
did?
I don't know what you're smoking there, man. I never had Memphis number 1.
Did DJ scream freeze? I mean,
I got receipts, man.
I got receipts.
I would love to see this alleged.
He's gonna bring it up on his phone.
I've never voted Memphis being number 1. I have a brain and it does work. No disrespect.
What receipt do you have? It's probably the wrong person.
Yeah.
Let me pull up receipts. This KJ,
Anyways,
right?
While he's doing that, let's
talk about things, right? So how are you feeling after that game against Birmingham?
Man, y'all, you hit the nail on the head, Jay. I think Jalen definitely surprised most people with his performance and play despite the loss. I'll be the first one to own it and say that at the beginning of the season, I erred on the side of caution with respect to how I viewed each QB outside of, the limited amount we could see in like camp and stuff, with the fact that he hadn't had a lot of in-game on-field reps, really, with the prior season being, back up in DC and what have you. And at least from a preseason highlight standpoint, Smith looked like an experienced, accurate passer. As the season has gone on, we saw that I think a lot of chinks in his armor, respectfully. And honestly, it's almost, you could say, flipped on its head. I think there's still an argument to be made between Nolan and Jalen, but it's a matter of, I don't even know Nolan's status at this point. I was asking some of my other cohorts earlier this afternoon if they had heard anything through the kind of media grapevine on what his status was, because I hadn't seen any like post-game pressers reporting on exactly injury-wise what happened to him outside of it being that arm that was in a sling. So we still don't know specifics there. ETA, if he's even going to be able to come back similar to Manny, not near severe, obviously, I don't think, but regardless. But yeah, Jalen stepped up and proved that he is definitely deserves consideration for the top spot, if not deserves the top spot, I think, from a QB standpoint. There's not really anything I can dock him on performance-wise from the game. The whole reason we were in it there at the end was because they had kept it so high ball. I almost felt like I was watching a different team, I guess, to summarize, because the amount of pass frequency he had. I mean, you look at the stats, and I was backtracking kind of through the weeks that we've had so far through the whole league for the season, and Jalen's performance in one game literally put him, I think, in almost the top 8 QBs already in terms of total yardage. And he actually is, initially I thought it was third, and then I saw that Tamu had as many yards as he did this past weekend. The 4th highest yardage in a single game by a QB so far in the entire season in the entire league. Tamu's had it twice with his 300-yard performance this last weekend, and then once before when they played, was it Arlington or I can't remember who. And then Matt Corrals had it once. That was the Arlington game when Birmingham played Arlington. He had like 250-something yards. But Jalen's right up there, which I think was pretty awesome just in one game alone. So, yeah, if they keep him in and he's able to maintain that level of command, I mean, there's no telling, where our ceiling is, respectfully. So it's exciting times for sure in that capacity, I would say.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed. We were at our 99 taps and watching that game, and as my my glass constantly had a hole in it, so I had to keep getting it refilled and stuff.
Right.
But like I said, I mean, I was really impressed with just how well he looked.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know schematically how many adjustments or changes they made when he went in, because it almost seemed like the play calling, I don't know if it was just his confidence and it just inflated the entire offensive side of the ball or what, but are they making fun of me for mispronouncing his name? Damn it. Oh, well. Anyways, so that for me was, I think, exciting to see, because like I said, I literally thought I was watching a different offense. And if that's something we can maintain through some of our other opponents, I think it makes us that much more formidable, because everybody's used to kind of seeing almost a one-dimensional style of play calling with, CJ and company in some extents. And it'll make it harder for other opposing teams' defensive coordinators to game plan for us, really. So
I do still think CJ looks lost out there, man. I mean, just
I'm not going to get into specifics on that, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So
yeah, no, at least you have an OC that can step up and help out and tell him what plays he needs to call. So, but so are you expecting provided McClendon gets the nod, which, I mean, depending on how bad that arm is, it could be rotator cuff injury or something. That could be a season-ending thing.
With the joint position, it's always a lot more, I think, touch and go and questionable in terms of a quick turnaround. You're not going to rush a guy to come back from that, because that's such a high fulcrum point with the body. And it being, I don't think it was his, I think it was actually his throwing arm, because it was his right hand, or right arm. So that even more is kind of like you really want to be cautious and confident before you throw him back out there to the wolves, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I fully respect
exactly.
So
are you expecting a short week revamped offensive look this next week?
I mean, I would hope that obviously that gives us a greater, I don't know, scheme-wise, I don't know what they would do, what we would pull out against San Antonio, but I hope that gives at least a greater diversity of the playbook and helps us be that much more competitive when we come down there this weekend. Obviously, the smash mouth football is not something we've greatly excelled at, I would say. Obviously, I think you have to establish something on the ground in order to facilitate play action. Everyone who knows football knows that. But, I mean, obviously, he didn't get shaken out there, and that was even with some, Birmingham guys giving him pressure. I mean, the confidence he displayed in the pocket to just stand back, deliver, and take hits, that spoke, thousands of words on its own, I think. So.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I hope he's ready for pressure because we've shown that we can bring the pressure this week, and we should be bringing it again this next week.
Right.
So,
I mean, you're a little scared,
Smart
aren't you?
man, he'll be watching all the DC highlights for sure.
I mean, you got to be a little bit worried, right?
Oh, are you kidding me? We haven't had the opportunity to play what I would consider any of the top 3 teams in the league to date yet. Y'all have. And while we did play Birmingham and came up minutely short, y'all played who some would argue, is the best team in the league and beat them handily. And not only beat them, but held the lead for a majority of the game. So they were playing from behind. It's one thing to make, a game-winning drive. And it's like, all right, we just overcame their defense at the end of the game. Like, that's great. And it deserves credibility. But it's to say, okay, that team can probably make up for that in weeks ahead. Y'all didn't just do that. Y'all, in a sense, dominated to some degree, you could argue, I think, personally for me, because this was one thing that irked me. I watched the very end of the game, and this doesn't summarize the entire DC performance, but it does highlight a big chink in the armor, in my opinion. When y'all watched the end of the game and DC was driving down the field, I think, to try to score, they called that timeout right before the 4th down. And I don't know if y'all were there in game, so y'all probably didn't see this on television, but I encourage you to go back and watch the highlights if you can find it. I forget the coach's name, interim coach for DC, but they looked
Harris.
They looked completely disheveled and lost in the sideline huddle during that timeout. I kid you not. They showed both pre-snap timeout huddle ups from each team. And I mean, Parody was over there like, all right, this what we're gonna do. We can call this. He was basically talking like Holtz was to Coral about or to Cookus, like, what do you feel comfortable? What do you want to, he's leaning on his QB to make the call on the play, or the defenders, I guess in y'all's case, and y'all were on defense. And the opposite end was like, it was like, what? Huh? I was like, who the frick am I watching? It was infuriating almost to sit there and see that they barely came up with a play call. By the time the timeout, the whistle, refs had blown the whistle, and I think they still hadn't made it back to the freaking line of scrimmage to get set in formation to figure out what they were going to call. It was horrible organization there at the end. So,
wow. Well, we're excited. Obviously, we've got one under our belt. We want a bunch more, right? We want to build that comfortable lead, but we're excited in the direction our team is going. But we're just as excited to see you guys down here to come hang out with us, right?
for sure.
I'm excited because it's our first home game finally.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Damn, week 5 of the season, it's our first home game. So about time.
Yeah. I don't have to fly to Phoenix to go to an East Coast city.
Right.
That's going to be kind of nice.
You know what? I may take a flight up to Seattle just for the hell of it, just so I can get that feel and just come right back.
Phoenix must be like the Delta of the west side of the country. I guess you got to fly there to go everywhere else. Is that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how they work it, but it was fun.
And then over.
So, we're still kind of trying to navigate all the details of our tailgating because I'm going to be honest. We really haven't heard anything yet from the Alamodome staff as far as where we're going to be able to go, what we're going to be able to do, if they're only going to give us like an hour of tailgating, which obviously isn't going to be worth it. There are some alternative venues that we're trying to kick around and see what maybe we can do with.
Right.
So everybody keep your eyes peeled on the Horns Forward podcast page. As soon as we get something concrete that we can work with, we'll let you guys know, and then we'll try and rally the troops there. Houston, you guys are always welcome anywhere we're at. You know that, right? Tim started it first, right? But the one state, one love. We're all in this together. And as long as we
know for sure that there's no tailgating in the Alamodome lot this game because this is the Fiesta game. So you're going to have the carnival there. So there's the alternative lot that was set up. We may go hang out at Alamo Brewery. We'll find some place to go and hang out before the game. And be sure to let
Definitely. And then also make sure that, Rig's already posted it, but we definitely want to make sure that, we're letting everybody know that we're praying for Rig and his family. Rig and his brother just, recently lost their mom. And so they're over spending time with family and going through the mourning process and celebrating her life and everything. So, lift them up in your prayers. Just positive thoughts about them. Whatever venue you go with your spirituality, just make sure you're thinking good things about them, because obviously that is a big devastating loss for their family.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I guess we'll see you soon, right? We'll let you know where we're going to see you at, but once we get that hammered down, we'll see you there.
So I'm spending the whole weekend giving the wife a 5-star Riverwalk San Antonio tourist experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll take your tourist dollars also, along with the victory that we're going to get on Sunday. So,
before we let you go, man, what is your prediction for the game?
The fan in me obviously will always root for my team. I will be humble and acknowledge I don't see us pulling this one off, but I do hope we play it close. If we do win, all the better, and that's obviously what I'll be cheering for, hands down. I wouldn't be a Roughnecks fan if I wouldn't. But at the same token, I have to, you have to give credit where credit is due. Y'all played, in my opinion, the best team in the league and beat them handily from an overall gameplay standpoint. So in that sense, to me, this isn't like a win over Birmingham week 1 when everything could be considered rusty and still getting chinks, figured out organizationally. So, I mean, we're 3 weeks in. If you can't put up or shut up at this point, you got severe coaching organizational problems, in my opinion. So in that standpoint, y'all handily showed what y'all are made of and capable of. And I think Parody's definitely established himself as a dominant coaching option, even further beyond this season in just one game, if that's, even worth saying. But yeah, I hope for a close game. I hope for a good game. I hope Jalen can sling it just as good as he did this last weekend, and we'll see who comes out on top. So.
Yeah. Well,
Tim, I don't know if you didn't hear that like about a minute ago. Nobody cares about week 1 wins, so just forget about that.
Ouch. Okay.
So, I do want to say just for the record, DJ found the receipts. And I think it was your power ranking like a month and a half before the season last year.
Yeah, okay. That's not even applicable, bro. You're ridiculous.
That doesn't count.
It was based on the roster.
So what you had Roughnecks power ranking preseason?
I didn't do power rankings this year, so I didn't get mine done in time.
I wonder why.
They wouldn't have been rated high. No, it was literally because I didn't have it done.
I cannot.
I know. Half or a majority of the team's done, but I didn't have it fully done, and I don't like giving out grades that aren't fully researched. And everybody can disagree with them, but I'm not going to give out a half-ass, excuse my French, stat prediction on power rankings. So I didn't issue one public.
That's what everyone thinks we do, anyways.
Well, we do everything half-ass anyway, so
I mean. The UFL and Hole do shit half-ass.
Jackie too.
Don't bring me into this.
Prayers for safe travels for all you guys. Come down and see us as soon as we know where we're going. We'll let you know. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to a hell of a game, man.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see you, bud.
Thanks for joining us
on Sunday.
Okay.
Is that a burp?
That was
who?
A little burp that I heard.
From who?
I don't know who she's talking about.
From me?
Anywho's.
Let's see the results.
Some of our weekly picks.
Yeah. Oh, you are gonna be floored with this.
I know.
Here are the standings, y'all.
Oh! Yeah, I did that.
Oh, Jorge's number 1. I'm number 2. Yeah.
I never said you were number 2, Brian.
Hey, it's all right.
Sounds like a caca to me.
That's crazy.
So yeah, here's where we're at right now. Woo! I mean, I feel like for a girl, I'm holding strong for thinking with my heart.
I was 4-0 last week, wasn't I?
Oh no!
I
last week doesn't matter.
I need a recount.
A recount? Well, you could go back to the other videos and check it again. Trust me, I go through each game. I look at the game, and then I go, okay, do we add or do we add to this side? And I do one game at a time.
I need a recount.
Period.
I had San Antonio.
Yeah. Look.
Can you bring up last week's?
Woo.
I'd love to see this.
Man, y'all just
Antonio.
voted off of spite at this point, man. So,
I already said, look, I was
I know what you said. I understand. But
wait,
you're
who
voting
picked
from the
Memphis?
get-go.
I know y'all did not think Memphis would get their first dub against Birmingham. Y'all crazy.
Oh yeah, hey, look, Birmingham disappointed me. If they struggled against Houston, why aren't they going to struggle against Memphis? Look, how many
Memphis ain't got no
times?
damn
Look, the
quarterback.
past couple weeks, I said Memphis been playing like they don't want to get kicked out, and they're going to do
Jackie.
the same thing against Birmingham.
Jackie, this is
I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah,
Look,
you know
Jay is
what?
with me.
This is
Fight with
why
Jay.
you-
Their coach
Fight
This is the
with
reason
Jay.
why. This is the reason why you last.
Fight with Jay.
And you pick Arlington. Yeah, this is the way. That's the reason why you last.
Here's a perfect summary. Like, I don't even need to say anything. That's why I voted the way I did.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, but
Same.
DJ,
I hate
Wait,
them.
hold on,
I'm
Jay.
not going to vote for
Why you
them.
pick Memphis, Jay?
DJ, you picked St. Louis when they got no quarterback anymore.
Pause. No. Pause. Oh, you talking about? Yeah, I don't think Michigan is like that for real. I don't think they like that.
Right,
for real.
Tim? Right?
I don't think they
Period.
like that for real.
Ugh.
I think the Battlehawks going to expose them though. Even with Duggan,
Expose who? Michigan?
Duggan a whole week with the ones. I think they'll look all right.
With the
I don't like
QB2.
Birmingham.
Dude,
It ain't gonna
One.
happen.
Well, he can be one now.
Max digging himself a grave.
Max Diggins.
Yeah. Yep. I think, and we talked about it this weekend. I think St. Louis, the chinks in the armor are finally showing. Right? They caught a couple of lucky breaks.
DJ holding strong.
Now they're things are starting to fall apart. The losses are going to start stacking up for them, especially against a team like Michigan. So I'm picking them out of spite, yes, but also out of skill. I think Michigan has them beat.
Football.
Hey, you know what? You had stuff to say about our rankings. I don't know about you.
Hey, they in that
pipe down.
They in a Brahma Dome. I mean, they in the Brahma Dome, the Battle Dome next week too.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna boo their own quarterback.
They've been calling for Duggan.
They're gonna be chanting, "We want AJ."
Before the season, they wanted Duggan. Now you got Duggan.
Well, they got him. They're gonna be regretting that wish now.
Yep. So, but that's why I'm picking what I'm picking. I do think DC does have the stronger hand against Arlington, especially after losing to us. Probably going to be a little bit of a sting. However, I will say if Arlington is smart, they're going to go back and watch that game and see what we did to expose their weaknesses and try and exploit those same weaknesses this next week and try and get the win that way. So there is a chance.
Is that what coaches are supposed to do?
They're supposed to,
Hey,
but
What?
They got to get a win.
look, if y'all don't notice, there's nothing but Brahmas down on our. Guess whose mind has been changed?
Jackie, don't start.
Guess whose mind has been changed? Now, when I saw it today,
Jorge too.
Who kept saying?
Jorge too.
They gotta prove it to me before I pick them. Blah 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 blah.
So Jorge.
And when I was
obviously
doing, I said, "Oh, you picked San Antonio."
So Jorge
and he was
ain't
just
say
like,
that? Jorge ain't say that?
"Look, I wasn't trying to ask him all that because you were the one that were very verbal about. They gotta prove it. Blah 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 blah."
But Jorge ain't say that.
I don't know what Jorge said.
That's
I
crazy.
remember you
So
loud
You forgot
and
what
clear.
Jorge said, right?
Cat, I heard you loud and clear.
That's crazy.
And when I was in shock. I was in shock when I saw SA when I was like, oh, he changed his mind. They proved a point. What did they prove to you, Coach? What did they prove to you, Coach? What did it that changed your mind? Was it because they got their first win?
I think the coaching change, like everybody's saying, the coaching change is what it is, and that's probably what they needed. That spark that they needed. So we'll see.
Now,
if it's real, they'll get this dub this weekend, and by a wide margin too. Just not no touchdown win. We should win by 3 touchdowns at least.
And we'll see if that happens. Then we rightfully claim our throne. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I do want to say though, at least for me, and I think I can say this safely for everybody, but This is not anything against AJ. I just don't think the team, the way it is now, was designed for his type of offense, right? So we still continue to wish AJ nothing but the best. Haven't really heard any updates from him if he's coaching anywhere, if he's got any gigs. I'm sure he's probably got interviews lined up. And
we don't need to worry about that, Tim.
I know. Who invited you? I'm just kidding. No, Tim.
Nice for a change.
We talk about Tim.
Ovi with the goal.
Oh, Tim. I thought you were talking about me trying to be nice to Tim or to AJ. I was like, come on.
I mean that too, you know.
Shut up.
But here's where you can watch all the games, all the times.
We at the dome. We at the dome. We at the dome.
Fill the dome. Also, Military Kid Appreciation. So they are going to be highlighting the military children. What is with this thing? Oh, BD. Jesus.
We should just leave it like that.
I cannot.
We're at the version of Around the Horn.
First game with Mr. Hope.
Yep.
Trying to turn up.
This could be turned up.
Everybody needs to show up. There was a promo that went out for free tickets. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. It is for the season ticket member holders, but get those free tickets. Hand them out to your neighbors. Tell them, guys, come join. Okay? Come check this out. This is, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah! Wait, look, he finally made.
He made it.
Look, all he had to do is go to one away game.
I'm famous,
bro. You know what I was looking at? Your teeth are so dang straight. You're famous, but the way they got you at that angle, like I'm like, dang, okay, all nice and straight. Heck yeah, they got you.
So yeah, that one. I mean, that was from the Arlington game week one, and then the one they put us in. Earlier last week.
Last year,
that was from the Houston game last year.
Yeah, because I had my old horns on.
Yeah.
And Vanessa was holding we had Jorge Sombrero.
Yeah.
With us. So keep on the lookout so y'all can know about where we're going to be hanging out pregame. But
I need to know what I got to figure out what jersey I'm wearing to the game. I don't know if I'm going to wear Jay Will or Anthony McFarland.
No.
You better wear those jerseys this week before.
Oh, do Jay's.
I don't want to see.
I vote Jay.
You know, this is your first time wearing it for the game. All right, you got to get that juju off of it.
Jay.
What you mean?
Jay. You don't wear a jersey for the first time at a game. You got to wear it before and wash it and then wear it.
No. I got multiple jerseys, not just one. I got multiple. That jersey that I had in that picture.
Put them all on. Wear them around. That way,
wear them all for one day.
That way you're
get the stank on it. You need to put the stank on it first.
There is a way that you have to handle superstitions properly, and you've got to. I mean, if you're going to wear a jersey to a game, I didn't even wear that helmet. I had it last year. I didn't even wear that helmet until this year. I wore it one game and we lost.
DJ is not as superstitious as us folks.
I'm here, y'all, but I mean, like. Even last year when we was winning games, I had jerseys on, so I'm gonna wear a jersey every game. So hopefully,
wear it, wash it, then wear it.
But look,
as long as it's not
the Arlington game. Look, the Arlington game, I didn't have my sombrero though. So this game, I gotta bring my sombrero.
That's true.
Look, you can have an away superstition and a home superstition. It's fine.
Yep.
Like you said, you gotta spill at least one beer on it before it can go into the stadium.
That's what they do in Arlington, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got our Memphis 8 thing that we got to do too. So we got to make sure that happens beforehand. So, anyways, all that being said, guys, make it out to the game. Let's pack the dome. Right, the team is on the upswing. We're on the right track now. We're where we thought we should have been at the beginning of the season. So come out, support your Brahmas. There's a fan event going on this Friday.
Yes, Friday at
Jackie,
Dave & Buster's.
Jackie, you're muted. You're muted.
It's this Friday. I was gonna say Barnes and Nobles. Dave & Buster's. We're gonna party it up at Barnes and Nobles, y'all.
You said this what this Saturday?
This Friday.
This Friday,
Friday.
but it is for season ticket members only, and you had to have signed up for it. So just know that you can't just be showing up and thinking you're going to be a part of it. They are checking. Last they did the same thing when we went to the last one. Where was it at? Like the indoor go kart place. I'm trying to find.
Andretti.
Right. Right. Season ticket members, it's going to be like the Andretti's that we had last year. Season
But it'll
ticket
be at
members
Dave
need
and
to show up.
Buster's.
Yes.
It's also to pick
And-
up your Fiesta medal. So make
Yes.
sure you let your ticket person know if somebody else is coming to pick it up for you, so they can handle that. But I guess apparently there's 2 separate medals for Fiesta. They have a second one. And I think
There
the
is.
dancing coach is only for season ticket members.
Mm,
And they
Yep.
made a second one that kind of looks very similar to last year's. That's for general public. So it pays to be a season ticket member, FYI.
or a +1.
Yep. Those are those benefits that we've been talking about since before the beginning of the season, right? And
Mhm.
heck, even some of them, I got wrong, right? We get all kinds of discounts. We got our win today, right? We got 20%, 25% off on merchandise.
Yeah, Nemo went out.
For the next 48 hours, right? So I mean, it pays. So if you're not, get on board quickly, right?
There's still time to get season tickets. So
Yeah, we still have 4 games in the season.
Oh,
right?
and they're
So-
also going to have the mascot will be featured for the first time at the
Bravo.
season ticket event. Yeah, Bravo will be there. So
Bravo, my man.
from what I could see, it's Friday, April 25th, 5:30 to 7:30. They're going to have happy hour food and drink specials. You receive a $10 power card, game card, $10 for future use. Be among the first to meet and take photos with our new mascot, Bravo, and he's going to make his first. What are y'all laughing at?
Don't show Tim's comment. Just going to say it that way. Leave it be.
what?
Okay. You
Yeah.
can show that one, not the one above it.
No. I mean that one right there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I see it. It says it's sold out on the website. I don't know. The Fiesta one.
Well,
That looks
yeah.
nice, though. That looks nice.
Which one? The second Fiesta one?
Yeah, that one looks nice.
I wonder if they did put it because it was on the
Me too.
UFL shop. Yeah, it looks very
Yeah.
similar to the year before.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
This look better than the one from last year.
Yeah, it looks similar though, but I like it. But it's not going to be
Yeah.
like our dancing Coach Wade.
Right.
Do you think
And
they'll
every
make
year-
a Puro Pinche party one?
Don't you
No,
have that
no, they-
trademark? They're going to need to
They're
talk
not
to you
gonna
about that.
steal your ideas. That's only the bad.
No, they're not going to make one that says Pinche on it, so we could technically make one.
They won't steal your ideas, Jackie. That's just St. Louis.
They will steal your idea.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. They not like us still. They trying to be.
There's a reason why we say they not like us.
Mhm.
That being the case, do we have any more bills to pay or anything, or should we probably go ahead and shut it down
Yeah,
here because we're way
Yeah.
over on time?
Oh, you know what? I didn't put them back up, but our merch over there. Thank you to AFN. Follow, like.
over there.
Our brothers over here are going to be on tomorrow,
Yep.
Tuesday,
TCF will
Texas
be on
Talking
tomorrow.
Football.
Yep.
Other than
And
that,
we'll have some stuff to talk about for sure, especially
Like-
after this Brahmas win.
yeah, they're more vulgar than we are here, but
We're actually not, but okay.
anywho, we're way past our bedtime. We're old for
It's
this.
just our
but
guests that come in all saucy.
somebody had
Anyways.
receipts for him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Receipts from like 3 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
Victory Monday, fill the dome.
Let's go, baby.
We'll let you know where we'll be for tailgating prior, or we'll may bar gate, so we may pull from DC for this one, but keep it posted.
Invitation. Yep. Be ready, guys.
See you
Victory
later.
Monday next week. Let's go. Home third.
Bye.
Let's go.